Hey, welcome to another episode of Going into the Deep with Astrology. So today's topic is, what is astrology? Exactly what is it? Okay, if you were to just ask anybody outside right now, go to a market, say, what is astrology? They're going to say, oh, it's your zodiac signs, the sun signs, okay, from Aries to Pisces. And that's the only limited information that most people know. At least I would say 75% or to 80% people in the world just know astrology as that sun sign thing. Well, that's not astrology. And in fact, what is really astrology? Astrology is everything around you. Everything, including you, is based on the fact that the planetary alignment are behind manufacturing everything that you see. Everything from this lamp, the wood, you, me, everything. You take on religion. Every religion is based on planets and astrology. Look at the Bible. The Bible is astrotheology. Okay, you should really research a term called Mithraism. Okay, on Google or Wikipedia, and also the reason why the Bible is astrotheology is because of the fact in astrology Jesus is known as the son of sun god. Okay, he's the son of sun god. Okay, and then back then, what do they mean by the sun god? That means back 2,000 years ago, 3,000, 4,000, ever since this concept of higher power existed, sun has been known as the ultimate giver of all light. And God means light, illumination. Okay, so him being the son of sun god. Okay, so the Jesus was a representation of the sun in the Bible, and his 12 disciples were what? Guess what? They were the 12 zodiac signs, and each or one of those disciples can be linked to each planet. And even in Bible, they say there's only the planets that you see in the naked sky are the ones that are considered in the Bible. So Uranus and Pluto and Neptune are not considered, even though they do affect, because if a pulsar and quasar, or if a planet like Ceres are constellate, I would say our neighboring planet like Sirius and Isis are able to affect us. Okay, then obviously Neptune and all the heavenly bodies affect us, but mainly what makes your psyche, what makes everything on this earth come alive in majority of the way is done by planets that are visible in the sky. That means sun and moon are considered planets in astrology. Sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter and Saturn. But also they consider north and south node of the moon. These are the eclipse point of the north and south pole of the moon, known as Rahu and Ketu. In astrology too, they have these nodes, north node. However, they don't consider the south node. But let's go even deeper. How is it that astrology affects everything? Now I'm going to try to explain it in the quickest way possible, how planets affect you every day. And why are the astrological signs that are given, the symbols of Aries, the bull, the twins, or the mating, and then the crab, and then the lion. When you wake up at 6 a.m., okay, that's the usual time that a human body is able to wake up. That is known as the hour of Aries. What is Aries? Aries starts from your head, and Pisces ends at your feet. Okay, so Aries, when you wake up, what do? You eat breakfast. So your mouth is represented by the hour of the Aries. Then comes the hour of Taurus. What is Taurus? The bull. The bull walks on the farm to harvest things. What do? You walk towards work. You drive towards work. You fly to work. That's the hour of the Taurus. Then what happens when you get to work? You come in contact with coworkers. And what happens then? Communication. The hour of the Gemini, which is right when you go after work, like 9 o'clock through 11 o'clock is hour of the Gemini. So you communicate at work. Hour of the Cancer comes. What is Cancer? Cancer is about nurturing. It's about motherly feelings. It represents your heart and your intestine and your stomach. So what happens during the time of the Cancer? You go to lunch. okay? And this is originally known that these are the hours, okay? And then the Leo comes into play. What is Leo? The lion, okay? What happens after work? What happens after lunch? When you come back to work from going to a restaurant with your coworkers, you get lazy and you get tired. Guess what the lion does after eating? He goes to sleep. He doesn't care because he feels he's the lion, he's the king. I can rest. I don't need to work. That feeling comes into play that, oh my God, I need to just go and sleep somewhere. You get tired, try to drink your Red Bulls and your, energy drinks. Then what happens is comes the hour of Virgo. What is Virgo? Virgo is about work. Virgo is about getting last minute things done. What happens during the time when 4 or 5 o'clock hits? When you're about to go home, you're trying to get the work done. You're like, okay, let's just do this. So it's Friday, it's the end of the month. Let me just get this work done. Let's not slurk off. So when that hour comes, you automatically work. Okay. After Virgo comes Libra. What is Libra again? Libra is about just balancing yourself and being a little lazy and just being in the sensual environment around surrounding you. So what happens? You come to your sensual place, your sanctuary, your home. After work, you lay down on the couch. You become lazy. You enjoy. You entertain. You have fun with your kids. You watch television. Okay, and then comes the hour of Scorpio. Hour of Scorpio. What do you do after you have eaten dinner and everything? And Scorpio is the 8th sign representing the 8th house. That means house of the dead, house of people who are 6 feet under, the underground things. What is considered sleeping? Sleeping is considered pretty much the hour when you are a dead person and you wake up and you're reborn again in the morning. So you see how astrology is related. Every single hour is related to you and your life and everybody else's life. But let's talk more as to why is it that stars, let's say this. What if the stars weren't there? What if the astrological signs weren't there? Would astrology exist? So when astrology was invented, and there's still doubts about how it was invented, the astrologers, they didn't look at the stars and say, oh, this section of the stars, the constellation, is sending out invisible rays and affecting people who are born during the time that this is rising above them when they're coming out of the womb. No. What they wanted to do is use stars as a map. And they said this 30-degree sector of the sky, okay, when somebody is born and when the sun or the moon or Jupiter is in this sector of the sky, this 30-degree sector, this person is going to be this personality. This person is going to go through this because this person's moon is in the 4th house in a sign of Cancer. So this person is going to be this. Then the next 30 degrees, if this planet is here in this constellation, which we'll name it a Scorpio, this will happen. But if stars weren't there, okay, they would still only care about that sector of the sky. But they used stars and symbol is just as a map, that so they don't get lost. They're like, oh yeah, here's it. Here's the section that we gave as the sign of Aries. So that's all it is. It's not that people. I hear this argument every single day from people. Obviously you are loved and hated all the time. So people on my website and every day they say, oh, what if there was no stars? Or what if there was no planets? Well, first of all, if there was no stars visible, fine, we would still be functioning and life would be here. We would still have astrology. But even if one planet is taken away, including the asteroid belt, if Mercury is taken away, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, any one of the planets, it just disappears, including the moon, poofs out. Life will end effective immediately on this planet. This is why the question of living in a solar system without planets, okay, without these planets is out of the question, okay, unless you go to a totally different star system that doesn't have these planets in there. I mean, this is like a 2-hour long argument and presentation that I have to give you, or I can give you. Okay, then people ask, okay, what if we start being people start being born on the moon? What if the people start being born on Mars? How do you figure that out? People like Santos Bonacci, David Wallach, Nassim Haramein. Please go and watch their videos, especially Bonacci. He is amazing, the knowledge that he has of ancient astrology. I love watching his stuff and information, and that's what I present to you guys. But what if, let's finish that question. What if somebody was born on a different planet? Okay, well, let's say we are starting to get people born on Mars. How would astrology come into play? Well, guess what? Then Earth will come into play. Okay, and Mars will still hold its perspective. Mars will still have its place in astrology. It won't like, oh, we're gonna get rid of Mars because now people are being born on Mars. No, we will take the longitude and latitude of Mars to see what house, what degree, what sign Mars was in when you were born. That's what it is. It's just that energy of the Mars. Okay, it's not like if you're born on Mars, suddenly astrology just doesn't apply. No, astrology will apply exactly the same way, because the coordinates, because even today we are born, we can see what sign and constellation Earth is in. Okay, if Earth is in Aries or Earth is in Virgo, Earth is in Scorpio, we can still see that. Okay, and if the original text wanted to give Earth a personality, they would have. Okay, but most importantly, what my message is for this video is to stop looking at your sun signs and think that everything based off of sun signs. I used to do this. This is why I say this. I used to read my career. Oh, what do I do as a Scorpio? Okay, when it had nothing to do, whatever the Scorpio they described, first of all, it was already wrong. About a majority of them were just same, and half the information wasn't even correct. Scorpios, just because you're a Scorpio doesn't mean I'm going to become a detective. I'm going to become somebody who, wants to dig deep into things, wants to do this and that. No, your career, your marriage, how you feel, how you think comes from the alignment of the planet, especially moon. The way you feel, the way you think is the moon. It's not the sun. Sun represents your soul. Soul cannot be touched. Soul is your inner, CPU, okay? Where moon is the memory, the hard drive of your computer. And Mars and Jupiter, all these things, Venus, signifactor of marriage, Mercury, signifactor of intelligence, Mars, signifactor of brothers, sisters, your willingness to go and fight the fight, Jupiter, your knowledge, your education. All these things need to be looked at in order to determine who you are, not just a single sun sign. So when you see your daily, weekly, yearly horoscope for your sun sign, even moon sign, it's not doing anything, because first of all, the astrologer doesn't have your personal information. What time you were born, what constellation you were born, what ascendant you are, what moon you are, what is going on. There's so many things that have to come into play for your horoscope to be able to predict your coming future week, month, your coming year, your coming decade. So this was just a very small perspective of astrology, okay? But this can take a whole hour, and I don't want to do that. I've mentioned you guys the name. Go watch them. Go watch their videos. Go read their articles. They talk about consciousness. They talk about how everything is connected, and they give you mathematically how astrology is what it is. All right? So definitely subscribe above. More stuff coming soon. This is why I'm here, to just enlighten you into the world of astrology. Movies are going to be coming. Everything is going to be coming. Definitely check out my web link below, so you can learn about true astrology, and just check out my videos. Thank you guys. Have a good weekend.